It's Carnival time again, and the Federation of St. Kitts-Nevis is preparing for yet another spectacular Carnival season.
Calypso King Finals, National Queen Pageant, Juve Morning, and the Grand Parade on New Year's Day, and Carnival Last Lap are definitely not to be missed.
Well, Children's Carnival is very important because it is a time for children to have fun, frolic and merriment. It also allows children to express themselves creatively and artistically. And at the same time, it allows them to learn about their culture, which is an integral part of Carnival, and at the same time to also learn to do things to create mass by getting involved in the whole process, by building the costumes and also the street dancing, and all that is National Carnival.
At CFB College, a group of Cape Art and Design students are discussing the origins of Carnival. Let's see what we can learn.
When was Carnival introduced to St. Kitts, and who introduced it?
Well, Carnival was introduced in the 1950s. It was introduced by Mr. Henderson.
Mr. Henderson basically faced opposition from all members of society. But seeing that we live in a Christian-based society, which seems to be the foundation of who we are and our upbringings, Christians and the Anglican Church and the religious people basically bashed his ideas. But he was a strong man because we celebrate Christmas today.
Well, in the past we used to celebrate Christmas sports. We had Christmas sports like masquerades and the nigger business, sagwa, mummies, cowboys and Indians, soldiers and actors and those sorts of stuff, and which is sort of different to now because we don't have some of the same things, and I guess they're not called sports anymore. But one of the sports that we didn't have that I think we should have is the nigger business, where it was like a signal for when Carnival was approaching, when Christmas was approaching, when they would have these people go dressed in black scissor black coats, and their blackened faces, and they would go around to different villages telling stories about what happened in the year, and they would do it in rhymes and riddles to make it humorous, but almost humiliating for those who it actually happened to. And then it evolved to sagwa, and eventually went on to hot sauce and school children, and which these were the comedians of Carnival.
What was the origin of John Canoe?
John Canoe was basically brought from Africa, and they brought it with them as a form of identity, not losing who they are or where they were from, and celebration for all the hard work they have put in and what they have received from the land and Mother Nature and the gods and everything else.
Can you paint a visual picture of what John Canoe is? Tell us what it looks like.
Well, it was basically like a houseboat, where it had the top portion was a house, built like a house, and the bottom part was a boat for like traveling, and there would be a man in the costume holding up the house boat.
Before John Canoe was introduced to the public, what happened?
They ventured to the cemetery with the intention of invoking the ancestors' spirit blessings for the upcoming festival. And then at the end of the festival, they went back out in the streets, they broke down the house, which signified the ending of the festival, the freeing of the spirits back to rest.
You realize that in St. Martin, at the end of the festival, there's a celebration where they actually burn what is called either the mummy or the dummy, and that signifies the end of their festival. So you see the transition from there to here, and we still maintain some of that cultural aspect.
How are children included in our Carnival festival in St. Kitts?
Okay. Well, basically, I believe that the fact that children are involved in Carnival is to create the whole notion of cultural retention, reviving some of the aspects that was once practiced by our ancestors. When children especially learn something from an early age, they tend to cherish it, and this would be beneficial to us as a people as they carry on the culture, because culture is something that is passed on, and I believe that because it is passed on to the children, it will be difficult for outer Caribbean influences to have an effect on the thinking of the children.
Now that we have learned about the origins of Carnival, we are going to take a sneak peek of what it takes to put one together.
It is important to have children's carnival because, one, it is a part of our culture. It's a form of education for our young person, and it's an opportunity for our youths to showcase their talents and also their creativity. The theme we are using this year is Treasures of the Caribbean, and basically what we are doing in this portrayal is depicting the various uniqueness of each Caribbean island, or some of the Caribbean islands. For example, in St. Kitts we'll be showcasing our sugar cane, some aspect of Brimstone Hill, and you have Trinidad, the steel pan. In Nevis we are going to be depicting a love theme, basically tying the entire Caribbean together in love. We thought that it is important to invite overseas costume builders to assist us here because we are few, or we are limited when it comes to that creative talent in terms of actual costume bending, and we have a relationship with some builders in St. Vincent, and over the years they have consented to come in to do workshops, to train kittitions. So over a period of time we would have a number of actual costume builders here, so there might be the need for so many of them to come. What we are trying to do this year is basically have each section with team leaders who are going to be doing routine, choreographer routine, so the children will be doing some sort of control movements. In addition to that, over the years we've had the majorettes. Unfortunately we haven't had them in a few years, so we are going to try this year to do the parade a little different, in that we're going to try to get some dancers to lead the parade. They might choose gospel music, they might choose some other softer tone music, and basically what they would do, they would lead the parade, as I say, and then following behind them you'll have like the Rotaract Prince and Princess, the talented teen winners and the different contestants. Then you have the focus section, and then right behind you have the sponsor vehicle, and then the children parade. 15 sections. We are hoping to have almost 700 children.
Pre-carnival preparations are very time-consuming, but the hard work pays off when the various troupes parade for all to see. One troupe that's a favorite is Beach Island Primary Clown Troupe.
Our clown troupe came out of a troupe which we had a few years ago when we were looking at folklore in the different islands. We had the clowns as part of the folklore for St. Kitts, and we decided that it seemed as if the clowns were dying, and we would try to revive the culture, keep it alive by involving the young children. You would know that a clown is coming. You don't have to see, but you hear the jingle of the bells, and you know when clowns are coming, clowns are there, and you know they have the costume, big, which people love to wear. You can move around in it, and the mask. And you have on your mask, your headpiece. It adds to the costume. And another thing too about the clown too is that they wear stockings over their head, covering their faces, so that they are not easily recognized.
The clown troupe is named after the school, the Beach Island Primary School clown troupe, and we have been doing this about 4 years now.
Long ago, so the clown troupe had different sections. You had where the ladies dressed in their short skirts and their pretty blouses, called the Japanese girls, or you said you have the cakewalk as part of the clown troupe.
All the way back since Lalap's time. Lalap's, then you had Darko take over, then you had Condem, then you had Zach for a short while. So it's way back, since in the old is 70s, playing clown all the time.
So what makes you want to hand down the tradition, or pass down the tradition to children?
Because a couple years ago, the clown been going out. Okay, and to the beach challenge and the teacher have interest in it, get the kids them to come into it. So we come back and we form a group and we call it the Eagle Squad. So from there we get back strong. That is in the late 80s. We're back on the road strong again with the Eagle Squad from through.
You must love it.
Oh yeah, very, I love it very bad. So it's still in the blood.
With 15 primary schools taking part in Children's Carnival, it needs more than 500 costumes to be made. Who's going to make them, you ask? Well, I have the answer.
Three of us come from a mass group that's called SVG Players International. And we're a relatively new band in St. Vincent, making carnival costumes. And we've been doing pretty well over the last few seasons. Junior, however, is from his own band, but he's so good in construction. Myself and him have been working for a very long time, quite a few countries. So I always tend to have to work with him. I am the handicraft officer in St. Vincent. Julian, Pollard, I work with the Ministry of Social Development. Also a graphic artist by profession. Initially, the minister, the culture minister here, she visited St. Vincent very regularly as chaperone. That was before she was minister. And she saw the costume abilities that we had, and I think that when she became minister, she then realized that we would be able to help. 2 years ago, we came, it was a different group. But then I guess we did well because they wanted us to come back, you know. And speaking to Alistair Williams, who is the festival's chairman, I told him that I would prefer to bring my own group because we tend to go to St. Lucia, we've been to the United States, we work in Trinidad as a unit. And I think we work better as a unit, you know, having been together for a long time. There are 4 of us from St. Vincent. We have a lone female, her name is Petula Lois. And basically she's very good with children, you know, this is one of the reasons we brought her. She also keeps track of everything. She's probably the only person I know who will tell you where 600 costumes are at any particular time and make sure that everybody has every piece. So she has a particular skill. She's very well talented all around, you know, very good at decorating, etc. So she's definitely a plus. Then there's Ian Williams. He's a graphic artist by profession. And working with him makes my work a lot easier because I do the designs, but he comes up with all the patterns and puts the stuff together. And so I don't have to worry about that. You know, he's very quiet. She's the shy one in the crowd, but very, very talented.
Children's Carnival, in my mind, help to develop our children. It also gives them a sense of their culture, their heritage. It also helps them in their social studies, actual live experience. For example, one of the topics in social studies in the school is culture. And there are times when they have to talk about their culture. Now, if they participate in Children's Carnival, that is a life experience. So it will give them that easiness in sharing the information. It also brings about unity among the schools because how we have them now in zones. You have the different schools in different zones, zone 1 to zone 5. So it gives the children a chance to interact with other children from different schools, which might not necessarily be from their community or their district. So it's a whole unity thing, and they end up having friends for a long time. First of all, thank our sponsor Cable and Wireless, and also our costume builders from St. Vincent and our volunteer from the UK who has been coming over the years to assist with the cutting, and The mass camp is at the Fort Thomas Hotel, and we're asking as many young persons as possible, and even adults or parents, to come on up and give a hand, because the more hands you get, the easier the costumes would be completed, and it means that Parade Day will be a spectacular event. So I'm appealing to the general public to come on up, show your support. Even if you cut one costume, at least that is one less to do. So I'm encouraging you to, and bring your snacks, bring your scissors, bring your water, your drinks. We're here until late hours.
I think we're in good hands. The costumes are going to be great. All the different zones have been passing through the mass camp to help make costumes. So let's go see how they're doing.
Another aspect of Carnival is float building. Children's Carnival provides a wonderful outlet for young children and adults to explore their creative abilities.
Patricia Liebert has been given the task of organizing the building of the floats for Children's Carnival.
Instead of just the visual art department doing all the work, we wanted to involve the other departments and get a wider perspective on designing. So we asked the woodwork teacher, the visual arts teachers, the metalwork teachers, the clothing and textiles, and the technical teachers to come together to come up with a design. Now, it was suggested, but whether the schools actually took that suggestion on, I can't be sure they've all done that, but I know Baste High did. And so the float was designed not just by the visual art teacher, but also the woodwork teacher was on board as well when it comes to designing. So I'm pleased with that, in that it's no longer just one department. It is now spreading out, and more of the departments are getting involved in the designing of it. Each school has been encouraged to involve their PTAs, and there's a list for people to sign up to help build the float. So students are encouraged to sign up. Parents who have skills that can help with the building of the float, they need to sign up as well, so that it won't be actually the school that'll be building it. It will be the school and the friends of the school, right? So we're really encouraging that. And with all the excitement, with the Kiddies Carnival on board, and they're all excited because it's so different this year, we want the floats to be something spectacular. And I know they will be, because some of the teachers have gone to the mask makers to get some suggestions, so they'll be exciting this year. So I'm saying, everybody get involved. When we work shoulder by shoulder, it can only be exciting. And we want more community spirit. We can only learn more. And we want a great, great, great carnival.
My advice is that everyone come out and get involved in Carnival somewhere. We, at Carnival time, it's a revenue generating thing. We depend on that particular period of time to gain income. Whether it's gifts, whether it's people coming in, the whole aspect of that. We need to stop making it a little political thing. Forget about the party politics during Christmas time. You need to just come out and celebrate. Remember what that whole thing was, that ancestral thing about celebrating with the spirits. We need to bring that back. We need to just get involved in Carnival, because you cannot have a good time. You can have but so much of a good time sitting back and watching. But the real good time is getting involved, celebrating with the spirits, coming out and do your thing, letting your hair down. This is Carnival. It's for all of us. You should come out and participate.
I hope that I've whet your appetite for Carnival. So come out and see the fanfare in all of its glory.
I just want to let everyone know that the ministry, in collaboration with the Carnival Committee, we are on a constant quest to bring new innovations to Carnival that ensure that people have a rekindled spirit of joy, of festivity, and of excitement. And I believe that it is high time that we return to Carnival, the junior Carnival, in which the children play their own role in ensuring that they have a great time. I want to thank all of the schools that are participating. I want to applaud all of the parents who have signed up their children so far. I want especially to welcome private schools that have permitted and encouraged their students to sign up. Especially to Dave Connor, to all the hard-working teachers, and to all of the members of his committee, on behalf of the entire ministry and on behalf of the National Carnival Committee, I want to say thank you to everyone who is working. Special thanks must be extended to the costume builders from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who came with the ideas and who are working with our own local costume builders and with the teachers and the parents on a daily basis at the mass camp at the Fort Thomas Hotel. I want to tip my hat to the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for their willing assistance that they have offered to the costume builders who are here amongst us. And I also want to pay tribute to the local costume builders who are working with them.
And don't forget to look for Children's Carnival revelers sporting their flashy costumes on the beat.